Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. You know, folks, there are weeks where I struggle to find news stories to talk about or topics to talk about, and then there are weeks like this. Disneyland has finally reopened. We have details on the Disney Wish. We might see a return to cruising this summer, and early this morning, Disney dropped some new details on the upcoming Galactic Starcruiser. We're going to talk about all of that next. From the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined this week in the studio by my producer, Mr. Craig Williams.
Hoy hoy.
And joined virtually by my good friends, Denny Sunderly.
Hi there.
Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
And from Disneyland, Miss Mary Jo Willie and Miss Luella Loriola. And from what I understand, Luella has been beating Mary Jo all morning. So hopefully she will be well behaved during
We're
this.
recording.
I'm sorry, we can't have you up here at all.
We're being kicked out. Sorry. So we are going to walk.
Well,
We'll watch. Okay, so Luella's now going to beat up a cast member, I guess.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay,
But
bye.
Mary Jo and Luella are going to join us, talk about the reopening of Disneyland. They're in Disneyland Park right now, and apparently wherever they weren't allowed to be there. I think, they must have snuck up to like Walt's apartment and were sitting out in the balcony or something. I don't know. But anyway, welcome to the show, folks. Thanks for being with us today. A couple things I want to mention before we get started. I guess we're going to get their feed.
Right.
yeah.
Oh, God, I love live. A couple things I want to mention before I get started. Last week I neglected to mention the anniversary. It was the anniversary last Wednesday of Bob Varley's passing in 2008. 2008, right?
Yes.
It's like, so 13, it's been 13 years. It's been 13 years. Of course, Bob Varley, one of the original members of our team, passed away in 2008. The studio is named for him because the studio was his dream come true. We're going to have links down in the show notes to some of Bob's finer moments, some of the better moments we had with Bob, including a link to his cable access show that he did in Massachusetts before we met called World of Mickey, which is something you really need to see to get Bob. You want to get Bob, watch World of Mickey. But also want to remind everybody that this show and all the shows we produce brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. Now, I don't have to tell you folks, this has been a challenging year for those of us in the travel business, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. Dreams Unlimited, I'm one of the co-owners of Dreams Unlimited, along with John Magi and Donna Lefevre, and it's been a challenging year for us. We've really worked hard to keep everything afloat, so to speak, keep everybody employed, keep the content coming, but Dreams Unlimited is how we pay for that. How we pay for Craig, how we pay for Rhino, how we pay for our staff, the equipment we use, the studio, all of it. We pay for that with the money that we earn with Dreams. And, as we've been saying, and this came as a surprise to a lot of people, when you book with a travel agent, or at least with our travel agency, you're not paying any more than if you go directly through Disney. You're going to pay the same amount of money. The difference is we get paid commission by Disney on that sale. So when you want to show your support by spending money you're going to spend anyway, please book your next Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Royal Caribbean, and any other number of vacations through dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. So, all right. Oh, we got to give a plug. We forgot the other member of our team, the new member, Tiki Tudis, that is glowing behind me. That is the oil diffuser, the new oil diffuser being offered by MagicCandleCompany.com. I think it's $39.99, and I got to tell you, it's my new favorite thing. I'm moving. I got to get a second one because I keep moving it from in here when we do shows into my office because it does such a great job with these little oils that they sell. This one is Polynesian. So code DisneyInfo saves you 15%. MagicCandleCompany.com. Okay, enough plugs. Enough plugs. I don't know where to start. But I guess we'll start in Disneyland since we have Mary Jo and Luella standing by out there. Have you found some place where you're not going to get arrested?
Well, we're in a better spot, but as you can see, the Mark Twain is going past us, so sorry for any noise or anything like that.
Oh, no, you sound great. You sound great. Great
Okay,
to,
great.
First of all, great to see you both. It's been a long time.
It's been over a year since we've seen each other.
Wow. So, you know what? Like, I'm so jealous you're in Disneyland right now. Now, we all know you have to pay $8 billion a year in taxes in order to have the privilege to be in Disneyland right now. But how is it? Like, how are the crowds? How is it?
It's really nice. So this is my second day. I got a 2-day park hopper because, one, I wanted to come the weekend when Disneyland opened, and two, today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And I was like, I have to come back. And so on Saturday, I could only get California Adventure first and then Disneyland. Today, Disneyland first, and then I may or may not go to California Adventure because there's so much to do here and see, and there's changes and everything. So having said that, when we came on Saturday, the energy and the friendliness and the welcoming from the cast members to all of us coming back was so heartwarming. Why are you laughing at me?
Because the guy behind you is just like sitting there having his lunch. I don't know.
I could turn this around.
Oh no, we want to watch him eat.
How's that?
That's fine. That's fine. So, I'm assuming most of the attractions are open, correct?
Most of them are. Of course, Jungle Cruise is closed.
Matterhorn is closed.
Matterhorn is closed. The Grizzly River Run at California Adventure is closed. Just about, I think everything else is open. And I got to tell you why Luella made me cry today. I have never ridden Rise of the Resistance. And so she got a boarding pass, number 11. And as we were walking to the park, she said, we can board now. And I said, but the show's going to start. She goes, no, you have to go.
Oh.
Halfway through the attraction, I was so excited. And I had never experienced anything like that before.
Mary Jo looks an awful lot like Rhino. Okay, so we had a Skype thing there.
wish.
Like, it was like you looked like Rhino throwing your voice. So you got to go on Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
What was your impressions of it?
They have the plexi. Fantastic. I've never been on something so immersive. I sat there. People couldn't see because of my Disinflect mask, by the way. But my mouth was open because there were so many experience. I have not seen anything, so I didn't know what to expect. So Luella did explain that, because here, I don't think at Walt Disney World, here the attractions cannot be more than 15 minutes. And so they've cut down, they've truncated some of them, so we didn't get a pre-show.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. You're telling me that California has a law that attractions
Yes.
can't be more than
Yes.
15?
Indoor, right? Indoor attractions.
I think the indoor
Is this
attraction.
a COVID thing or?
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to be a COVID thing. They've never had that before.
Okay, I was gonna say because I had never heard that, but okay.
I know Rocket's missing from the Guardians attraction queue as well.
Oh.
Yes. They cut a lot of the pre-show parts because it is part of the ride. So the ride is longer than what the state mandates. And so the whole beginning pre-show, I told Mary Jo she can see that online, but it didn't take away from the experience.
That's awesome.
I couldn't see her because I was also getting enthralled, but we were both screaming and exciting, and then at the end I could see her tears.
Have you had a chance to go on the newly redone Snow White
Yes,
attraction?
I went on it on Saturday. Luella hasn't yet, but I plan to go on it 2 times because, the dark rides from Fantasyland are quick. And what they did to Snow White is amazing.
Well, she needed some work.
Well, she needed some work, but you know how people get really hung up on, well, this wasn't the original, but it was the 1980s remake. And so a lot of the generations only know this dark version. Well, now it's Snow White's Enchanted Wish. Totally changed. It's more uplifting. When you used to go in it, there was a dungeon. Now it's like her room. There's doves cooing. The colors are lighter. They're pinks and light blues on the building itself. And the animated part that they've added doesn't detract, but it enhances. They did change the ride itself. Luella was asking me about that, so that the ending now it makes sense. Before, the dwarves would be going up and the witch was on a hill, and then it said, and they lived happily ever after. And you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
How are the crowds? How are the crowds in the park?
They were reasonable. So of course there's no fast pass, there's no max pass. So the Haunted Mansion was the longest queue that I had to go on, and that was 25 minutes.
That's
Peter
not bad.
Pan is like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Snow White was 20 minutes, and that was a long queue. This was Saturday, and today's Tuesday. Now, Luella's expecting big crowds because of the, May 4th, the 4th be with you. So I think that they're going to be hanging around in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So that's going to leave a lot of the park for us. So I'll be vlogging later on. I love to ride around on the train and just show what we can see and kind of to take in the atmosphere. But what's really cool is it's the diversity that you have, the older couples holding hands, the families with small children, the friends. It's like there's no difference, and everybody's just really happy right now.
Sure. I can understand it. Well, thank you so much, guys, for taking some time and talking to us about it. Always great to see you. Go enjoy
Thank
the rest
you.
of your day. And Luella, stop beating up on Mary Jo, please.
We're gonna go play.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're gonna go play.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Always good to see MJ and Luella. MJ's awesome. I love. Known her for, gosh, it's got to be 23 years now that I've been friends with Mary Jo. So very excited that Disneyland is reopened. Of course, it is only open to California residents, unfortunately, right now. Understandably, but unfortunately, California doesn't want waves of people coming into California, but we seem to be doing okay here. I'm just saying. We're doing all right. But as soon as that's open, I think Rhino is that right there with me. As soon as they're letting that estate in, I'm getting on a plane.
100%.
I'm getting on a plane. So they also haven't published what their capacity is right now, what the capacity limits are. We're hearing estimates of 25 to 35%. A lot more pronounced in Disneyland Disneyland Park, because it is so much smaller than our Magic Kingdom. That it's still the same capacity limit, but I think 25 to 35% of their capacity is going to feel more crowded than ours does at 25 to 35%, but I could be wrong. But very happy about that. It's a sign that maybe some things are starting to come back. I'm not going to go into detail on it, but we're hearing that valet parking at the Disney resorts is getting ready to come back next month. Not that that's like major news, but these little signs. A big sign, though, that things may begin moving more in the direction was a report in USA Today last week that said the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, that has control over U.S. cruise ports and U.S. cruise and cruise line activities in U.S. waters. Obviously, they stopped all cruises a little over a year ago, and the cruise lines have been very aggressive in saying, give us guidance, tell us what we need to do to reopen. And they weren't getting anything, and they weren't getting anything. And then Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said, you know what? I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you and make you do something. And then all of a sudden, magically, seemingly, the CDC sends a letter to CLIA, which is the cruise industry lobbying organization, saying we see a path, a possible path, for cruising to resume in U.S. waters as early as mid-summer or mid-July. And I'm going to tell you the first thing I did when I read this. Well, first thing I did was I wrote up the story and put it on DCLfan.com. That's our Disney Cruise Line website. But then the second thing I did was I went and booked a 4-night in the middle of July, because as soon as they let me on one of those ships, I've got a bag packed. I'm ready to go. Hell, screw the bag. I'll buy my clothes on board. I just want to get on the ship. I just want to get on the ship. That I'm not going to hesitate. I'm vaccinated. I'll wear a mask. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'm fine. Just let me get on the ship. So I'm very, very cautiously optimistic, because this is the first time that the CDC has been somewhat specific about a possible time frame. They've been dancing around that issue for a long time. But I think a combination of the rollout of the vaccines and, yes, the governor of Florida saying, listen, do something. Do something. We have all these things happening right now, and they're going well, and we're showing that things can be reopened responsibly. Disney World is a phenomenal example of that. And so, and I think the CDC bowed to the pressure, personally. I think they bowed to the pressure. And I'm really happy about it. I'll be really happy when we can start putting people on ships, namely me. Namely me.
And by people, you mean you.
Yeah, and by people, I do. I mean me. But I have a feeling I'm not alone. I have a feeling that there are others in this room and on this call that would also jump at the chance to get back on a ship. I think we've asked that question. I think we've asked that question every show. Like, would you go?
No.
So I don't think anybody's answers have changed, but it was really exciting news. It was really, really exciting news. Anybody have anything they want to comment before I...
Well, I agree with what you're saying with it being exciting news, because the CDC was really digging its heels in up until this point and saying, no, November. So to have a little bit of wiggle room, like you said, it's just a light at the end of the tunnel. It's really nice. And I know there are a lot of people out there who say, hey, I'm not getting back on a ship until I don't have to wear a mask. Like that would get in my way of fully enjoying my vacation. And you do you, that's the beauty here is, unfortunately you'll have to wait a little bit if that's your paradigm, but the beauty is you have a choice. So you can either wait or you can get on the ship. I'm of the same ilk as you, Pete. Let's just go. I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah. So. I mean, look, I got to wear a mask to go to the Publix. I'll wear a mask to go on a cruise. If that's what you need from me. Do I want to? Of course not. No, of course nobody wants to. But if you want me to wear hot pink shorts, I'll do that too. You won't like it. It's not a pretty image, but I'll do that. I want to get back on a damn cruise. I want to get back on a cruise in the worst way, especially a Disney cruise. And that also, because this is going to tie into the next story, been thinking about that a lot lately. I mean, Royal Caribbean's already announced they're sailing the Adventure of the Seas out of Nassau in the Bahamas starting in June. And not that I don't like Royal Caribbean, I do. But I just noticed that I wasn't as excited about that as I am about the possibility of going back on a Disney ship. And that's the Disney fan in me. I'll give you that. That's the Disney fan in me. But I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking I really need to get the hell out of Florida. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But this does feed into the next story. More details released last week on the Disney Wish. Long awaited details on the Disney Wish, and I was not the only one. I was not the only person watching that reveal announcement that was getting a little like verklempt, talk amongst yourselves. I thought they did a really good job with that announcement. I really do. I thought they did it. I mean, it was cheesy Disney crap, but I'm in. I'm there for that. What'd you guys think about the announcement?
I thought it was incredible. I loved how they did it. Craig and Rhino, is that called the Dish at Imagineering? Is that where they filmed that? Yeah. Okay. The fact that they did it in the Dish to kind of allow us to step into that virtual environment, to give us a look at, real time what it's going to look like and feel like in some of these spaces. That was incredible. I enjoyed that. And I know you guys, you and Jackie and Craig shared y'all's opinions on DCL show YouTube channel. But for me, I am a huge Marvel fan. I mean, obviously, so okay, you're going to give me a Marvel restaurant? Yes, please, thank you. That's amazing. I cannot wait. The color scheme is what just really, the fact that it's so different from the 4 existing ships is what caught me by surprise. And not that I didn't like it. I like it. We've seen the Grand Hall before, so we know kind of what that's going to entail. The fact that we got to look into the staterooms to see that color scheme. I do have one thing that I'm a little like, about. Now, I know that Jackie's favorite is Cinderella, and she is just ready to explode over the fact that Cinderella plays so predominantly on this ship, and she is so excited about that, and I love that. I look at the staterooms and I kind of go, now I know it's being referred to as a castle on the seas, but I am missing some of the nautical touches that we have on the 4 existing ships. And believe you me, I know this is we've only seen preliminary things. These are just artist renderings, yada, yada, yada. But I don't see all the old Mickey stuff. I brought a prop today. I have show and tell. So I once had the chance to purchase
Took that off the ship.
Another one,
I took it off the ship.
Another one clipping lamps.
Yeah,
We've got Derek on the DVC show clipping lamps from the Polynesian. You're clipping stuff off the ship. What the hell? Am I surrounded by kleptos?
I had the chance to purchase this. And for those who are listening, it is one of the original lampshades from either the Wonder or the Magic. And with all the cruises that we took on the Magic, this is one of my favorite things. And so when I had the chance to purchase it, I went, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to sit it on a shelf and I'm going to look at it and it's going to bring me joy every time I see it. So touches like this, and you've got Disneyland, you've got Disney World, and so it's a little nod to Disney, and it's also a nautical touch. Those are things that I loved. I love the picture of Walt and Lillian strolling on the cruise ship. I enjoy the candle candle in the water lyrics over the bed, or over the sofa. But now I mean, I like Cinderella and the artwork being present. I love that they're tying her in, but part of me goes, oh, but. So it'll be interesting to see how it manifests for sure.
And exactly. I mean, we are seeing just a glimpse of what this is going to be. But I also think I like the idea that they're not just doing a retread of what they've already done. Mm-hmm. That they're not just, making this, Disney Fantasy 2.0. That they're making real artistic changes, carrying colors and themes and styles through in true Imagineering fashion throughout the ship. And I'm trying to think of a delicate way to say this. I don't give a damn about any of it. I don't care what they do. Pull the ship up and let me on. Pull the ship up and let me on. I will swim out to it if I have to. It's a new Disney ship. These are about as common as new Disney theme parks. And they've got 4 under their belt. You know what? They did great with every one of them. So whatever details aren't in place, whatever little, I don't care. I don't care. I'm in. I was so happy to have this announcement and to get some of this detail. But then I'm like, damn it, I got to wait a year.
Right.
I got to wait a year.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you what, folks, if you plan on sailing on this ship in the first, 3, 4, 5 months that it's out there, you better get a reservation request in now, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Didn't think I was going to miss that plug. We've got a lot of reservation requests in. It's built into our reservation form already, and depending on where you are in the pecking order for Castaway Club is when you can book your reservation. We don't know pricing yet. We don't have that information. Reservations open May 27th. I wasn't sure if it was the 24th or 27th. And they gave us a month's notice. That was why I think I was more excited about that. Because normally, when there's a release with Disney, they tell you on a Thursday. And then Monday, you start booking. And it's insane. It's insane. So that they've given us a month to gird our loins and get ready for what my poor agents are going to go through. I say my poor agents because I'm not getting on the phone. So I'm really, really excited about it. Really, really, really excited. I wish it wasn't a year away, but I also felt like it was not to be overly dramatic, but a beacon in the dark. It has been such a crap year. And as a Disney fan, as a fan of Disney Cruise Line, this kind of like this bright point of light in the distance I can aim for, right? And that's coming, right? That's coming. And we'll get there. And I needed that. I think a lot of us did. And I think Disney knows that because, watch this great segue. This morning, they took the occasion of May the 4th, which is an unofficial Star Wars holiday. May the 4th be with you. Get it? To announce some details on the upcoming new Galactic Starcruiser hotel, letting us know it is slated to open next year. We don't know when next year.
It was supposed to be open in 2021, so.
Well, I'll give them a pass.
I don't know why we would. They don't need a pass.
No.
You expect that this should be built and ready.
Yeah.
Rhino, did you pay attention to this story?
Oh yeah, I am very, very excited for all of this. I mean, I was excited knowing literally nothing, and just the more that comes out, the more excited I get. I saw the lightsaber. The video, them releasing the lightsaber, I thought that was cool. For those of you who don't know, it was that Josh D'Amaro, during that Disneyland video they did a couple weeks ago, had a lightsaber that everyone was losing their minds about, and Disney was like, well, we'll show you in a little bit, and lo and behold, May the 4th, and here we are. And Rey's got her lightsaber that ignites from the handle, and they're saying that you're only going to be able to, or you'll see that, you'll get your first look at that on the Galactic Starcruiser. And then they also were talking about, didn't they announce some of the dining space, one of the dining spaces today as well, which I think...
Did I read that announcement correctly, that this is going to be a singing restaurant?
It's a supper club is what it's being referred to as. It's
Didn't the official announcement say something about singing? Or was I like having a hallucination?
Oh, there is a performer. There's a performer who will be performing. So.
Yeah,
yes.
well, like
it's going to be Rhino
doing.
It's going to be Rhino doing Princess Leia drag.
Yeah.
There's your visual for the week.
5 nights a week.
My audience, my dear people. There's your visual. Rhino in Princess Leia drag. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good themed dining experience. I'm gonna tell you. No, I think it's really cool. What worries me though about whenever they release any Star Wars related concept art anymore is when we go back and look at concept art that was released during D23 about Galaxy's Edge and how much of that ultimately came to fruition versus what didn't, and most of it was the character theming. Like this dining experience video has a lot of intergalactic individuals in it, and I'm like, how many of those are actually going to be there? You know, like it's one of those things where I don't want to get my hopes up, but you're right, Pete, because it does say in the official announcement, this singing sensation will be a featured performer during one of your exquisite dining experience inside the Crown of Corellia dining room, which you can see in this
okay, so I wasn't imagining things.
No.
Yeah, it says the enticing supper club's name is an homage to Corellia, the planet known galaxy-wide for its shipyards that gave us not only the Halcyon Starcruiser, but also the Millennium Falcon. Breakfast and lunch passengers before transitioning each evening into a lavish multi-course menu of both otherworldly and familiar origins. God, I cannot read today. What's different than any other day? But it's exciting to me that there isn't just going to be one place to eat. I don't know why in my mind I thought like, oh, it's so small that it was just going to have like one main dining hall or something like that. And I guess it is, think about it in terms of a cruise ship, because on a cruise, the Disney cruise ships, you usually have 3 signature restaurants, 3 rotational dining restaurants, right?
3 rotational, and then 2, well, depending on which ship you're on, 1 or 2 signature adults-only restaurants.
And I'm hoping they do something similar to that on the Starcruiser, that there might be like at least one adults-only, sort of like a bar or lounge, because tying it back to the Disney Wish, when they talked about that Starcruiser lounge and how you'd look out the window and you'd see Batuu or Mustafar, or I forget what the other planet was, but and I just think that to me is, I was like, oh, I want to be there right now doing that. And I bet that's really cool, because on the ship you have that feeling of that movement feeling. But yeah, I can't wait for this, but I'm sure it's going to be crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, this is going to be a very controlled experience. I think that's not too harsh a word.
Oh yeah.
To use for it, where you're signing up for a 2-day experience, and
it's LARPing, essentially.
It's what?
It's LARPing. It's live action role playing. That's like there are like camps and things that people go out in tents and do it in like fields and stuff like that.
Okay. Well,
this time they get to be indoors.
There you go. Air conditioning. It's good.
Look, I'm like excited about it. I want to go check it out. But if I got to get up in an outfit, forget it. I'm out. I'm out. I mean, what about you, Craig?
I've been all for this since the very beginning. It's just ultimately, though, this is not going to be for everyone, and I don't know how Disney's going to get that message across, because, obviously they want people to spend the money and they're going to want people to do it, and maybe see if they can get some people who weren't really, interested in it, but go for it anyways, and then can't wait to get back and do it again. Like, I know they want all that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a very, very expensive and very specific experience that you either have to want to be there and go all in for it, or, you can probably still go and enjoy aspects of it, but it's not going to be as comfortable for you in the long run. And, I just want to go to see that lightsaber in person. I'm really upset because it's clear, based on what Disney put out in the press release for it, there is no reality in which we'll ever be able to hold it. I think it's way too fragile because it basically is a tape measure with a tip and LED lights on it. But it's what it is, and according to the
measure.
patent, yeah, it's essentially, not to spoil the magic, but it is plastic that is housed inside in coils like a tape measure. But I had mine right in front of me. It's over there. And essentially, yeah, it's okay. I don't need to give the example. It's an audio show too. But yeah, it's basically going to retract out, and it then has the lights going up with it, and that's how it gives the impression that it's a real lightsaber. And so it's really cool. But like,
So you don't think they'll sell these?
No, I think there.
I
will
don't
be
even
the one.
think they'll be able to move them.
No.
I
They're
think, like, if you look at
showpieces.
that video, the way she's holding it with two hands, my guess is that's how they're going to do the introduction to, like, the lightsaber, and they'll do something where she walks around and they trade off, and she's now holding the legacy lightsaber as opposed to that lightsaber. Like, I think that is literally just going to be a showpiece to ignite. I bet it doesn't even close. I think it only
Okay,
ignites.
but how
I don't
long?
think it closes.
How long before some cosplay Star Wars nerd like pushes her to the ground and takes it away from her, and bro like goes running for the door? I mean, if they're gonna, I think there's too much of an opportunity there for them to capitalize on that. Do you really think they're not gonna sell these?
I would like them to sell them. It's just I don't know how expensive they are, and I don't know what happens like with the reliability of, okay, well, what happens when the motors inside die out? What happens when you go to hit it off something and it's flimsy plastic and it breaks immediately? I mean, I know that's like any toy. You have to be responsible with your toys, and if you break it, that's shame on you. But even with the lightsabers they sell at Savi's at $225 now, whatever they cost, if you have a problem, if for some reason it's not working correctly, you literally take it back to them and they will work to make sure it's fixed.
I would just guarantee you this: someone at Disney is working full time figuring out how to sell these, how to make these saleable.
They should.
Because you want to get back all the money you lost on coronavirus. Sell a freaking lightsaber, a real like one that actually like does stuff. That's one way to do it. Sell a freaking lightsaber. And
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
give you another image. I'm going to give you people another image. Craig and Princess Leia drag. That's even scarier.
I mean, you're not saying what outfit. She has multiple. I like to see myself
Oh,
in
it's okay, then fine.
Empire
No,
Strikes
no,
Back.
it's gotta
No,
be-
I already
No,
chose.
it's gotta
I'm in
be-
the Empire Strikes
The
Back, the
best.
Hoth
You want the
gear.
best.
I'm comfortable. I've got a vest on.
No,
I'm
no.
going to be a pretty princess.
You're slave
No,
princess.
no.
You're in the slave princess bikini.
There's
a
I chose
visual.
first.
There's a visual. Hey, I'm the boss. I get to decide. I get to decide what your work outfit is, and I'm going to make him start coming to work in slave Princess Leia bikini. Oh, I just love messing with Craig. I love it. All right. Denny, are you going to go to... are you excited about the Starcruiser?
Oh, sure. I am. I'm really excited. I want to see what the end result is, because I've driven past it. Like, I drive past it all the time. So it'll be neat to see exactly what, the fruition of all of our waiting is. I am, here's the thing, Rhino, you mentioned something on a recent episode of not Best and Worst, Off the Rails, where we were talking about the pixie dust still being here. And you said, you made a point to say, commit to the vacation, like commit to your trip. If you go to the Starcruiser, it's because you are willing to commit to the experience. You're willing to sign, to jump in with both feet and kind of sign your next 2 days over and just experience it. And I think if we are willing to do that, if A, you're willing to pay for it, B, you're willing to commit to the experience, I think it's going to blow our minds. I think it's going to be just amazing.
Well,
I'm excited about it.
See, okay, so I'm getting my head wrapped around the whole, it's like a 2-day experience, I guess, or something like that. Mm-hmm. But there's the big burning question on everybody's mind. How much?
Right.
How much? Is this going to be $1,000 a night? Is this going to be $500 a night? Is it what? So if they're talking about opening this in 2022, that means at some point in 2021, we're going to see it open up for bookings. We're going to see it open up for bookings. And once they get to a point where they're certain they'll be able to open it, and they're certain of their opening date, we're going to see that. And that's when we're going to find out. That's how the world is going to find out whether or not, this is how much, because they're going to have to park this a certain way. It's going to have to be appealing for casual fans in order to sustain it as a business model. If it's just for Uber fans, and it's going to be very, very expensive, I think they're going to have problems with this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be something middle of the road about this that's going to attract somebody who's, I like Star Wars. I'm not wearing anything, but I like Star Wars. And, I'd be willing to give this a try. It's got to appeal to that in order for this to be successful. If this is just one big expensive cosplay experiment, I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It would almost make sense as a business model, maybe up front, if they don't necessarily do it every single cruise, like have the full-blown experience. Maybe say, okay, we are going to have cruises where you can come in and experience this just as a hotel. I know that kind of defeats the purpose of it, but it will give a chance to those people like you who don't necessarily want the full-blown thing, but kind of more like an open house. Come in, spend the night, dine at the restaurants, do the encounters that you can get in there without going full-blown into the storyline of it, so you can get an idea of whether or not maybe you want to come and try it. I don't know if that's a thing they can do long term, but
I'm not disparaging anybody who is into that and wants to do that. I'm really not. It's just not me. That's all I'm saying. It's just not me, and I think there are more me in this regard than there are more of Rhino, who will put on.
Oh, I'll be dressed up.
He'll put on a Power Rangers outfit just to go out and get the mail.
Yep.
So I just wonder how far down that road they're going to go, and I think what you just said be a really good compromise. Have cruises that are the full experience, and then an experience for the rest of us that want to check it out and really like Star Wars, but we're not wearing nothing. I mean, we're wearing something. We're just not wearing.
Please wear something.
The nude Star Wars experience.
We're wearing something. We're just not wearing outfits. Okay, we're not wearing. We're not gonna put on Craig's Princess Leia outfit. But I'm excited to see it. I'm very intrigued to know, what do we think the price point is going to come in at per night. What do you think a price point would be for this, Craig?
I genuinely don't
Take
even
a
have
shot.
I don't even know, because I didn't realize until someone started telling me in live chat that like a room at the Polynesian right now runs for $700 a night. So I don't even know what happens with pricing. I don't stay on property often, and so I am not the expert at all on pricing. So
look at him sidestep that one.
I don't even have a guess. I couldn't even begin to guess.
Denny, what do you think? What do you think the price point's going to be?
Craig, I thought the same thing. Immediately, I went to a night at the Grand and approximately what it's, going for. And then, this is an all-inclusive thing, right? So we've got a roll-in food cost and just all the extra things. And do you need park admission, or is park admission included? Because there is the shore excursion to Hollywood Studios to Batu. So Pete, you said $1,000 earlier, and I don't think you're wrong.
No, that's exactly what I think. I think this is going to be, it's either going to be something along the lines of $1,000 a night, or it's going to follow cruise pricing, a cruise pricing model where, adults 1 and 2 are, $1,000 each for that particular experience, and then, children 3 and 4 are going to be $500. It'll be something along. They've made some comparisons to a cruising experience. The way some of this information has come out leads me to believe they're semi-modeling this on a cruise experience. And I think if that's the case, they're going to carry over cruise pricing. And then don't be surprised if it's successful and it works and it's popular, if we don't start seeing 4-night excursions, 5-night excursions, 7-night excursions, and prices that match. But I think everybody needs to brace themselves for the prices on this. This is not another hotel opening. This is something entirely different. This is a concept product for them that, if it works, we will see more of at Walt Disney World. We will see something at Disneyland. We know they're planning to expand the hell out of Disneyland right now. This may be a thing that we start seeing show up in other cities where there aren't theme parks, where Disney can expand the brand and connect the brand in places where they don't have a footprint right now. Those things are all real possibilities. We just don't know. This is all wild speculation. My guess, they're not doing this just for Walt Disney World. They're not.
That's you brought up a great point. I mean, one of the biggest questions we ever get asked in everything we do is, if they were going to build a new park somewhere in the United States, where would it be? And we know Disney has tried to tread outside of theme parks before with like Disney Quest, when they tried to make that a thing up in Philadelphia.
Oh, they did in a few places. I think it was one in Chicago as well.
Yeah, and so we know they've tried to establish a footprint outside of Walt Disney World in Orlando and Disneyland in California, but a hotel concept in different parts of the United States that's not like DVC, like Hilton Head or Vero Beach, but completely different, that blends in that intellectual property. That is intriguing.
Well, it's hotel.
Intriguing.
It's hotel as attraction.
Yeah.
And what about Marvel? A Marvel themed hotel.
Yes,
like
please.
This.
East of the Mississippi.
And
Yes.
west of the Mississippi. Sorry.
It would have to be west.
There's just so many. There's so much IP, intellectual property, that Disney owns and works with, that the possibilities are endless. And if anybody thinks this Galactic Starcruiser is the start and end of this concept for Disney, then you haven't been paying attention. They have been trying to come up with a model. They've used, Disney Quest was mentioned earlier, a model to get a footprint in places where they don't have a theme park. DVC did it with Vero Beach and Hilton Head and ultimately Alani. And that had mixed results. Alani opened 807 years ago and still hasn't sold out. Okay, so for the timeshare portion. Gorgeous resort, you should absolutely go. I'm trying to get out there right now. Good luck finding a room, because they're completely sold out. Now, obviously, they're not working at full capacity, but anyway, boy, I can go off on a tangent, can't I? But this is the potential start of a whole new business model for Disney. I think if this is successful, and that's a big if this is successful and the numbers make sense, you're going to see this idea pop up in places where they don't have theme parks. That was the whole thing with Alani. Could they build a massive resort, a full-scale resort, someplace where they didn't have a theme park? They tried it with Vero and Hilton Head, but with Alani, they were going all in. This is Hawaii. And to a degree, it's been successful. Not to the level I think they'd hoped, but to a degree, it's been successful. So, but this idea, nerds are everywhere. We're everywhere. We're on every continent. We're on every city, and we know from personal experience that we will spend money on stuff. We'll spend real money on stuff. I'm so into Disney, I spent all this money on a damn studio to come talk to you people, right? I mean, look, I had to start a business to pay for it, but the fan passion came first, not the business idea. The business idea came to pay for the fan passion and the stuff I wanted to do. But I think that's what we're going to see with this.
It's one of those things I didn't expect us to get here for it, but the hardest part is when you take Disney and take it outside of Orlando and Anaheim. The first thing you have to really pay attention to is, will the people who are running it in those different areas, will they live up to the same Disney level of service? Because that's ultimately, they can build the spaces, but if it doesn't have that feeling of like it is when you're going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, then it might not work out. So it would be cool to see, just even beyond this, I would love to see Disney hotels anywhere
Yes.
across the country that would give you that Disney magic that doesn't feel like it's cheaply themed rooms just plopped in a different city. Give me a Disney experience. So if I'm living up north and I can't afford to get down here, maybe I can do a 2-night getaway in a place that just has that magical feel to it.
But I think that's the reason they have not done that. They want that experience located in certain places, and those places just so happen to come with vacuums that suck the money out of your pockets. Yeah. So obviously, I'm sure that thought has come into their heads before, Disney-themed hotels in other cities, but my first response to that would be, well, you're going to cannibalize the ones you have at the theme park, and you need those. But this could be different. They could create unique versions of this in different places around the country that are just different themed, and then what you have is people going out of their way to travel. Oh, now I got to do that one. Now I got to do this one. If they get the recipe right, and they got to get the recipe right pretty much out of the gate, more than just a hotel, they got to park this one, and they got to park it on the first try. Because if they come out with a crappy experience and a ridiculous price, that's how it's going to be branded. Doesn't matter what they do to it after that. Everybody's going to say, oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Seen it happen before. We've seen it happen before. So we'll see. We'll see if what Disney's going to do. But very excited. It's appropriate that on May the 4th we're, spending time talking about this. But that, folks, is going to do it. Unless anybody has anything else they want to add.
Nope.
I'm just going to throw it in here real quick because someone in chat is going crazy on it. Do you have any thoughts about the college program coming back in June?
No.
Okay, there we go. I try to tell people in chat when we don't talk about subjects, it's because we don't have anything to say about it.
I don't. I
but-
mean, look, they're coming back in June, right? They're bringing them back.
Mhm.
Okay. You want to know? Okay. Now you know. You want to know what my thoughts on the college program are? I'm not a fan of slave labor. I'm not a fan of slave labor. I think that the intent behind the college program is a good one. I think the execution of it, they should be ashamed of. I think the amount of money they charge these cast members to live in what is one step above subsidized housing is obscene. It's cheap labor. It's cheap labor, and that's all it is. And I think the entire program needs a fresh look from a pair of eyes that aren't greedy, jaded, and cynical. And there's a person who worked in the college program in this room right now who's like pumping his fists. So I'm guessing I'm speaking to the choir for those that have experienced it. I think it gives magnificent experience. And I think especially for Disney fans who are in college, it gives them a way to connect with this. But I think Disney is taking advantage of that. I think Disney is taking advantage of that fan passion in how, in aspects of the program. I've heard so many horror stories. Maybe one day we'll do a series of shows on experiences in the college program. So am I glad it's coming back to a degree? Yes. But Disney's reasoning for bringing it back is one reason and one reason only. It's cheap labor. It's cheap labor. And I think, well, I don't want to go too far down that road. So it turns out I did have an opinion on the college program. But I don't want to get too much further into it. But there's your answer, whoever was asking about my thoughts on the college program coming back in June. Yeah, I mean, good, kind of, for Disney. And I think the college program CMs who love the program, I'm sure they're happy to be coming back. But I just don't think they should be taken advantage of the way they are. That's my feeling. All right, that, folks, is going to do it for our show. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the Diz Unplugged. Have a great week, folks, and remember, stay out of the damn lakes.